Hey Frank, how's it going? I think you're currently muted.
Yes. Good evening.
How's it going?
Good.
We're just gonna give people about 5 to 6 more minutes to filter in, and then we'll begin.
Yeah, that's fine. I just have issues with these things, so I figured I'd try early.
No, that's a good call. That's a good
Yeah,
call. I always
I,
try to
I,
sign in about 10 minutes early
I,
myself.
yeah, I didn't want to hold anybody up with my with lack of technology.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
But just hang tight. We'll get ready to start in about 5 to 6 minutes.
no problem. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. We're just gonna give everyone about a couple more minutes to join. We had a few more attendees register. But we'll give them a few minutes, and then we'll
No
start.
problem.
All right, everyone. I think we are about ready to begin. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. My name is Diego. I work in Commissioner Regalato's office. Tonight we're going to be talking about the main highway resurfacing project, the scope of the project, and any impacts and detours that will be up during it. This is an informational webinar. We are asking everybody to, pardon me, I'm just going to share my screen here. If we have any questions, comments, or concerns, send us an email at district7@miamidade.gov, subject main highway. We will provide a response by the end of this week, both directly and on our socials. So with that, I'm going to turn it to the project manager, Frank Mendoza, who can tell us a little bit about what we're doing and the MOT and stuff. Frank?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for attending and giving me a moment to bring you up to speed on what we've been discussing all week. The fact sheets have already been given out to all the businesses and some of the residential homes that front main highway up to the school area. So that's already been taken care of. And I think we provided a copy of the fact sheet that was handed out. In the developments that have guardhouses, they've been given to the guardhouses, and they've assured us that they're going to inform everybody going in and coming out. So everybody that has limited access will no less be informed. All right. So we're waiting on the project signs. We're trying to confirm that. I spoke to the contractor today. They've not been delivered to him yet. Where in worst case, we'll get a small plastic A-frame sign, and we'll have to change the commissioner's information, the project sign. We'll have to do a little bit of retooling, but in worst case, we can do that. And if not, we'll wait for the signs to be delivered to the contractor, and he'll install them. The VMSs right now, we can definitely have one up. Maybe as soon as this week on the south end of the project, facing northbound traffic coming into the Grove. We're going to try to...
Really quick interjection. For those who don't know, the VMS is the large electronic sign.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, this says, it'll basically say construction in progress, expect delays. It's a very short general message. Then we're going to try... I reached out to Jenny, but she hasn't gotten back with me yet. So I told the contractor we're going to stay with Plan A and again, Mr. Barrios, Alex Barrios, our assistant director, has kind of given us a go-ahead. If we can grab some empty side parking, we're going to occupy it and put a VMS there for all the southbound traffic going out of the Grove at the beginning of the project. So we'll try to get some side parking that's not occupied right now, kind of close to Main and McFarlane. And that way we'll have the two beginnings of the beginning and the end of the project covered with these VMSs, which again, basically alert the vehicular traffic saying expect delays, construction ongoing, or something to that sort. So we got the VMSs, we got the project signs, we got the fact sheets handed out. We, according to everybody's, if we get the green light tonight, we can start tomorrow to adjust the water valves and the manholes that need to be adjusted on the south end of the project, which is we're planning to work from the school and into Coconut Grove. Firstly, the reason for that is we're gonna move away from the school. And secondly, there's the minimal amount of utility adjustments in that area. We're calculating maybe at max between 5 and 6, which may take us at maybe a day. So it's very possible that we can start milling the beginning of next week, Monday. And that can be, I think it can be concluded in one day. We'll have to see how the traffic, works with us overall, but, we don't foresee a big deal with that. And then
Quick question, Frank, sorry to interrupt again. For our information, can you tell us what that involves, milling the street?
milling, they'll set up, it's a big machine that basically removes the old asphalt.
Okay,
It removes the old asphalt. It goes through a conveyor, and it dumps directly into a truck. I mean, there's some collateral debris, but it's very minor, and there's broom sweepers that will pick up all the heavy stuff. So in essence, and that's a moving operation. So we're not stationed anywhere at any given moment. If there's a driveway, it'll take us 5-10 minutes to work our way through. So like I said, it's very possible that we can be out of there in one day with that operation.
great.
If that happens between Wednesday and Friday, like I said, that can start Monday. We can finish that on Monday. And if that does occur in that manner, let's say worst case, we don't finish Monday, we finish Tuesday, we'll be in Wednesday to lay the asphalt. And that, again, that can take another 2 days. So by Thursday or Friday of next week, we should be done with that first section.
And when you say, just so that people know, this project is divided into 2 sections, right? So the entire length is McFarlane to Royal Road, but
Correct.
You're doing it in 2 sections.
Yeah, correct. And again, I'm gonna tell you now what we just found out recently, and it's not for sure, but we split it up that way. First of all, because of the utility pieces, they're very minor, so we can get that portion done. And the other, well, the initial reason was there's a lot of utility pieces in the north end. We're counting about between 30 and 40. That doesn't mean that they will all require adjusting, but let's say that it's half of them. You're talking about 15 to 20 pieces, and that could take a couple of days. Now, that operation will not hinder traffic either, because it's sporadic. They'll be able to wave traffic through both ways, in and out, either by flagmen or by police officers on duty. So everybody will have access. That won't affect any of the businesses.
And this is from Franklin to Royal Road, is that right?
From Franklin to McFarlane.
Well, the second section,
yes,
is by the school, right? So that ends by Royal Road.
Royal Road to McFarlane, correct. Yeah.
So let me pull up the MOT map if that's.
Yeah, I got them here. Let me see. We're talking about.
Here we go. Sharing the map here.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the first section. Hold on, let me bring up the second section. So this is the whole map, but we're talking about from Royal Road up here to about Franklin is the section that you're working on first, or is that?
We can try to go a little further. I'm thinking I can take it to maybe to where we have we're limited in the theater.
Okay, so by the theater, yeah. So about, gotcha.
Yeah, I think I can take it that far. That way, the remaining piece is a little shorter, so we'll be able to get that done a little faster.
And this is the portion that you're working on first.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and like you said, you'll be working in the daytime, but you don't think it'll affect traffic. You'll be able to wave people through this section.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That, like I said, that's gonna take I would say maybe, I'm hoping 3-4 days, max 5 days. Again, it's a lot of days, but it's you have to take out the asphalt. You have to dig the area out around the asphalt. I mean, around the structures out. You have to pour concrete, let it sit. Again, once they do they can do 2, 3, maybe 4 a day, and then they'll let a cone on top of the structure. but like I said, everybody will be able to substantially easily maneuver around those cones.
Wonderful.
We'll
Another quick question: is the as part of the project, will all the markings on the road be repainted?
yes, yeah. I again, in the first phase, it, I mean, if we finish on Friday, absolutely, because it'll be Saturday and Sunday out there, and I don't want anything. It's kind of dark, but yeah, we will paint it, and that's
Yeah, I mean by necessity, right? Because you're shaving the road down, so you'll
correct.
have to repaint it.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, that's usually customary for us.
Okay, great.
And then
So
and
I
then
believe
once
this
we
is
put
the
the
MOT map. Can you tell us a little bit about, is there any detours or impacts here that people should know about or for when you're working on this section?
that's hard. I mean, like I told you earlier, we're gonna try to implement this. This is the official document. We may not need as many signs. It looks very cluttered, but it not necessarily has to be that this much. You know, it's I hate to say it, but you know, traffic is like herding cattle. You know, once you get them going, you don't want to change,
True.
and you don't
Well,
want to give them a lot of information because everybody will get lost.
You want to
well,
be as direct as possible.
Diego,
Yes.
this is Commissioner Regalado. I would mention also that it's important to note that we have picked the least busiest time on Main Highway. So right now, all the schools are closed. We know that some folks are out. It's still going to impact the businesses, but we really tried very hard to find a sequencing, right, where we have as little use as possible. So while this still impacts traffic in the area, nothing compared to what would happen if we did this while schools were in session, or at the
Absolutely
end
correct.
of August.
I agree.
And Frank, you mentioned to me that this portion of the work from the Playhouse down to McFarlane will be mostly done in the evening or at night, right?
Yes. Now, a small development that we're gonna try to take another look at it. One of my lead workers was down there today, and he's thinking that we may be able to do that during the day. Why? Why?
Okay.
Because there's we have an extra lane that we can have traffic flow through, and not completely shut it down, and that again, I don't want to say that is we're gonna do that, but we're gonna take a closer look at that possibility. And if you like, you know, we can try to reach out before we get there. We'll have a better idea once the adjustments are done before we start milling, which is taking off the asphalt again. We can pretty much determine which way we want to go with that, and try it during the day. Again, it's not going to impact the businesses in as far as any pedestrian traffic. They're going to have full access. Vehicular traffic, they're going to be able to go in and out, but they're not going to be able to park anywhere in that area for that moment.
Okay, I see.
Does that sound okay?
And how would that impact the timeline if you were able to work during the day?
It's not so much the timeline. The time may, well, I think I want to take that back, because we were thinking about if we do it at night, the first thing is we may have, I mean, the work orders for 300,000. I don't know if they worked, because this came out after. I don't know if they can, you know, they worked in having the plant open at night. We have some built-in money, so that's not a big deal, and it should be only a handful of nights. But if we can do it during the day, we have more hours, because now, you know, if they work late, we can get it. We could possibly get it done in a day. And we're thinking that if we try to do it during the day, we'll try to implement school hours, which is basically they'll work from 10 to 3. And we'll see how that goes in as far as how we impact the traffic. if we see, like the commissioner said, if the traffic is sufficiently light that we're not creating a lot of traffic or the queue is minimal, then we can extend a work hour and get more done and maybe try to squeeze it all in one long day. But
Okay.
it's hard to gauge this progress, from here.
Understood. So we intend to start on the 14th. Do you have an estimation or an
Well-
idea of how long the project should take?
Well, wait, hold on. We're ready to start the adjustments on the south end as early as tomorrow.
Right. No, I meant the milling, the actual milling.
Oh, yes. The milling, like I said, if we start the milling of the south end can start as early as Monday the 14th, correct? Let me grab a calendar here.
And we're looking at maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
A total?
Ideally,
Yes.
to complete.
Yes. Again, the biggest factor is all the utility adjustments on the north end. And what happens is why we want to do this, and I'm very particular about that, is sometimes we do them after the asphalt is taken off and put in. But because it's a small area and you have so many, like I refer, the new asphalt is going to look like Swiss cheese. And there's no need for that. You're going to have a brand new area, So, I mean, sometimes it's better to, measure twice and cut once. So,
I agree.
Yeah. So, in the work product, it'll look much nicer. I mean, so, and
that's the
again,
goal, right? To have a nice road.
yes, yeah, you'll have all the adjustments. Even you won't have any cut lines around the structures. So it'll be like everything is fluid and smooth and again, the only delay or what's going to constitute the most time is going to be the adjustments of those manholes and valve boxes on the north end. Again, maybe we can get them done in 3-4 days. But once we get that done, after that, it's all downhill. You're talking about the same thing.
It's all right. That's the hard part.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 days of milling max, another 2 days of paving max, and then we'll put all the striping down because we'll put striping down on the milled area as a safety matter. And then when we come back and put the asphalt down, we'll put striping on the new asphalt again, and then we have to wait 14 days for that to cure, and we'll come back with the final thermoplastic striping.
Okay, great. So it's going to get a brand new coat of paint, everything, the works.
Everything, yeah. Now,
Wonderful.
you mentioned today I didn't get anything, so and we have time, but that crosswalk information,
I'm sorry, what was that, Frank?
the crosswalk plans that they want to implement. Did you mention some crosswalk plans that the traffic wants to implement here?
I had not,
Okay.
but if you have any
There
comments
was,
on
there
that,
was
please let us
one
know.
there was one by Ransom.
Okay. I mean, usually on the schools, we use what we call the zebras, which is the crosswalks with all the lines, the perpendicular lines going across.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rennie Dowrick. I'm the chief of the construction division. Good afternoon, Frank. Good afternoon.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. Thank you. I want to point out about the crosswalk. The crosswalk is a consideration that was made by our planning group regarding a possible crosswalk at Fuller Street, crossing Main Highway. We have not received plans from our planning group. We're following up with them because I don't know if the decision was made that the crosswalk was not actually necessary, but we'll be following up, and we still have time to actually get the plans and incorporate them if the decision's been made.
Wonderful.
To actually implement that crosswalk there.
Correct. Yeah.
That was actually a question we received. Will there be new crosswalks? So we are considering one at Fuller Street.
Correct.
I know that Yeah, at Fuller, now that Fuller is gonna be a play street, obviously the dynamic of Fuller has changed.
Correct.
Okay, so we can take Fuller and wait for the final decision and the plan. And then thermal it with, as it's called for at that time.
Okay, wonderful. So to recap what we heard so far, we are hoping to do the work on the utilities this week. We will start ideally with the milling on the section by Ransom next Monday.
Correct.
If everything goes right, the project should take about 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll have a brand spanking new main highway.
Yes, sir. God willing, yes. Okay, there's only one other
So
thing I want to bring up, and I think I mentioned it to you, Diego and Rene. We are not gonna be able to work in front of the playhouse. They have Jersey barriers there. We reached out to the contractor there, and it appears he's gonna be there for a while. That's Oscar Morajon from
Yes.
John Bell Construction.
Yeah, because the Jersey barriers, that we can talk to the city, but it's part of the stabilization plan. So it would have to be the city of Miami that would allow us to move the Jersey barriers in order for you to repave that piece.
It, like I said, we tried to broach that idea. They were not very receptive. What I would say is we plan to mill along the roadway limits, and we can put a white edge stripe on there. And when they're done, maybe there can be like an informal or maybe a formal agreement for them to do the side parking. Just basically mill the side parking, pave the side parking with the side street that's Charles, and then everything will be, like it never
Brand
happened.
new. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
so
if the city can add that to the permit or recommend it in the permit, and maybe again, we're not talking about a whole bunch of money there, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, so we'll follow up with them on that.
Yeah.
Just
Other
to go
than
over
that, yeah.
some of the comments and questions you guys are putting up here, we're going to share everything with you guys, everything that we presented. We will send out, we will put on our socials as well. The project that we are talking about is the resurfacing of Main Highway from McFarlane to Royal Road. The timeline ideally is about 3 weeks. The schools in the area, the one that we are referring to, the closest one is Ransom Everglades. And everything else we will address on our socials. Commissioner, would you like to have any last words?
Yes, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And if you're watching this after the fact, we're really doing our best to provide information. You can always email us at district7@miamidade.gov. And like Diego said, we're going to be providing information on socials also. We're trying to get this done as quickly as possible, but we also want to ensure that the street is done correctly. We've gotten so many complaints over the years about the potholes on Main Highway. This was long overdue. And I want to publicly thank Diego for all his hard work in accelerating this program, because this was slated for a long, long time from now. But it's important for us to get it done. And I'm looking forward to a final decision on the crosswalks. I know that the Fuller one has come up with residents, especially those that live by the cloisters. But there was also a request for a crosswalk by Ransom, where the chapel is. So I'll reach out to them.
Correct.
And see if that's something that we could also take care of in the next few days. But thank you everyone for making time and for providing the map. I think the map is the most important part. And we'll all stay tuned, and hopefully we can get it all done and have a brand new milled and resurfaced Main Highway. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. And once again, send any questions or comments to district7@miamidade.gov, subject Main Highway, and we will answer them as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Diego. Have a great evening.
Thank
You
you,
too, Frank.
everyone.
Thanks so much.
Good night. Thanks.